Russia and Ukraine are establishing their own terms for a potential peace deal. As the fighting on the ground intensifies, new statements from Moscow, sharp divisions in Washington, and persisting silence from US President Donald Trump. All these are now contributing to the uncertainty surrounding any peace agreement. Russia says it swapped prisoners of war with Ukraine today in an exchange that was agreed on at talks in Istanbul last week. US President Donald Trump has even raised the possibility of bigger things in the offing. But what is he talking about? Just yesterday, Putin announced the creation of a security buffer zone along the border with Ukraine.
As I said earlier, the decision to create a necessary buffer security zone along borders with Ukraine had been already made. Our armed forces are accomplishing this task now. Enemy firing points are being suppressed. The work is proceeding.
Well, the timing is key. This announcement comes just after Putin visited the frontline Kursk region and after he held a high-stakes phone call, a 2-hour phone call with US President Donald Trump. On paper, that call focused on the future of peace in Ukraine. But on the ground, the signals were starkly different. Putin says Russia is now ready to begin restoration work, which includes demining and rebuilding war-scarred border towns in Kursk, Belgorod and Bryansk. Remember, Russia claimed to have regained full control of the Kursk region in late April. That's after months of fierce combat against Ukrainian forces. And also being supported by North Korean troops sent under a mutual defense pact between Russia and North Korea. This week, Putin visited troops in the region for the first time since that reclamation. While details on the buffer zone are little, Putin has floated this idea before. Now, it signals that for the Kremlin, this may be the only way to secure the border from more Ukrainian strikes. In recent months, Ukraine has intensified cross-border attacks, including strikes in Belgorod and other Russian border towns. On the diplomatic front, meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed that there would be a second round of talks with Ukraine. That's when Moscow would hand a memorandum to the Ukrainian side. But once again, Moscow questioned the legitimacy of Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. That's in signing a peace deal. In saying so, the Russian foreign minister repeated Moscow's claim that Zelensky was not a legitimate leader of Ukraine and has suggested new elections before a potential future peace agreement is signed. Earlier, Putin thanked Trump for supporting a renewed push for peace talks, which for the first time since 2022 resumed last week in Turkey. But despite the optimism from Kremlin, a Wall Street Journal report claims that Trump told European leaders that he believes that the Russian President Vladimir Putin has no intention of ending the war, a claim which Moscow has strongly denied. Kyiv, too, is not buying it. Ukraine's foreign ministry condemned the buffer zone announcement as aggressive and a direct barrier to peace. They said that any buffer zone should be created inside Russia and not Ukraine. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, the bloodshed continues. On Thursday, 12 civilians, including 2 children, were reportedly injured in a Ukrainian strike on the Russian town of Lvov. On Friday, Russia claimed to have captured fresh territory in Donetsk, destroying multiple Ukrainian military targets, including US-supplied Patriot air defense systems. Now, between Tuesday night and Thursday morning, Moscow says it shot down nearly 500 Ukrainian drones, 120 in the Kursk region alone. Ukraine too claims to have beaten back multiple Russian offensives and also struck military industrial sites in Moscow and Tula with drones. So as Putin moves to fortify his hold on retaken regions and floats just how deep this buffer zone should go, we can't help but wonder, Is this a path to peace or a new phase of the war? Military experts say Putin's moves may be designed to pressure Kyiv or perhaps test the West's resolve. Either way, what we know is this: the fight is far from over.